Good evening, students. In last class, we have discussed regarding the uterine prolapse. Uterine prolapse is the uterus is descend downwards towards the vaginal opening. Okay. In four types of uterine prolapse: the fourth, second degree, third degree, first degree. Fourth degree uterine prolapse is also called as precedentia. In this precedentia, the whole uterus is coming outside from the vagina. That is the fourth degree. Third degree, the cervix is outside from the vaginal opening. That is the third degree. In second degree uterine prolapse, the cervix is at the introitus vaginal opening. That is the second degree. In first degree uterine prolapse, the cervix is at the level of the uterine vaginal opening. That is the first degree. Okay. Uterine prolapse means the uterus is coming downwards or coming outside through the vaginal canal. Okay. So uterine prolapse occur along with the rectocele and cystocele. Cystocele means it is a herniation of the part where the bladder is bulges with the vaginal wall. Vaginal wall में जहाँ bulge होता है वो wall में जो bulging part में herniation होता है that is a cystocele and rectocele. It is the most common along with the uterine prolapse. Rectocele means it is a herniation of the rectal muscles at the part of the bulging of the rectal muscles with the vaginal wall. So as well as along with this sometimes the enterocele also occurs. Enterocele means herniation of the small intestine. So and etiological factors: normal delivery, vaginal delivery, obesity, heavy lifting. These the various etiological factors are seen in the last class. Today we have discussed regarding the pathophysiological condition of the uterine prolapse. Uterine prolapse pathophysiological condition. Pathophysiology. Pathophysiology. What happens in pathophysiology? In pathophysiology, due to etiological factors, what happens? The various etiological factors like childbirth or pregnancy, obesity, ascites. These are the etiological factors. Due to etiological factor, increases the intra-abdominal pressure. Increases the intra-abdominal pressure. So the certain conditions that causes the that may lead to the increased intra-abdominal pressure. So increased intra-abdominal pressure that may lead to the weakness the supporting structure of the uterus. So increased intra-abdominal pressure, the continuous pressure on the abdomen that weaken the supporting structure of the uterus. Supporting structure of the uterus. That weaken the supporting structure of the uterus. So when the supporting structure of the uterus are weakened, uterus is lose its place and drops down. So uterus is lose its place. Then what happens? Uterus is lose its place. The normal position of the uterus is anteverted and anteflexion. When the supporting structure of the uterus are weakened, then the uterus place is displaced and uterus is lose its place, and what happens? And it drops down. It becomes coming downwards. It comes downwards and drops down. Then it comes downwards. When it comes downwards, that also causes the rectocele and cystocele. Along with when the uterus is coming downwards, because of the ligaments and the muscles are weakened. So along with this, the rectocele also occurs. Rectocele and cystocele also occurs. When the rectocele and cystocele occurs, then the patient or female patient, the feeling of heaviness or fullness in lower abdomen. Feeling of heaviness in lower abdomen. In lower abdomen, the patient feels heaviness. So something is coming outside. When the body organs are loses its place, when it's herniated or when it's when any organ coming outside from its original place, the person's feeling of something is coming outside from the body. That type of feeling is perceived to the women pursued by the women. This is the pathophysiological condition of uterine prolapse. So when the female feeling of heaviness in lower abdomen along with the something the heavy menstrual bleeding and pain during sexual intercourse, the symptoms are appear. So this is the pathophysiological condition of the uterine prolapse. Uterine prolapse, this pathophysiological condition happens. Okay. So next, after pathophysiological condition, clinical manifestations of uterine prolapse. Clinical manifestations. What are the clinical manifestations are seen in the uterine prolapse? Okay. Clinical symptoms of uterine prolapse. Okay, what are the clinical symptoms are most probably occur in the uterine prolapse? So the most clinical symptoms are, okay, the clinical symptoms are depends upon the degree of the uterine prolapse. Okay, what is the degree? If the fourth degree is there, then the female feeling of masses or some organ is coming outside through the vagina. When the third degree, she is also palpable of masses. Second degree, first degree, it is a very difficult to diagnose because the female feeling that is something is she is sitting on the ball. Okay, she is feel like she is sitting on the ball, or she is feeling like the something is coming outside from the body. Okay, these are the symptoms are appear. Clinical symptoms are depends upon the degree of uterine prolapse. Okay, degree of uterine prolapse. Degree of uterine prolapse depends upon the degree. The female patients are feels that in suppose in first degree में क्या होता है? In first degree uterine prolapse, the female perceived that something is coming outside. Okay, something is coming outside. Something is coming outside through vagina. Coming outside through vagina. Coming outside through vagina. Okay, this is what. This is the first in case of first degree uterine prolapse, she is feels like this. Okay, and sometimes heaviness or fullness in the abdomen, heaviness or fullness, and feeling that, okay, heaviness and fullness, heaviness and fullness, heaviness and fullness. Okay, then that heaviness and fullness is day by day coming downwards. Okay, feels like okay, that heaviness is coming downwards. It feels like heaviness is coming downwards. Heaviness is that heaviness is day by day it is coming downwards. Coming downwards जैसा feel होता है female को. Okay. Next, some prolapse in case of third degree or fourth degree. In case of third degree or fourth degree uterine prolapse, third degree or fourth degree, the female she feels like some mass is coming outside through vagina. Coming outside through vagina. Outside through vagina. Okay, this is the in case of third degree and fourth degree uterine prolapse. In third degree, fourth degree uterine prolapse is something mass is palpable. Okay, in the pelvic region or in the abdominal region or seen through the vaginal opening. Okay, so along with this, the vaginal bleeding is also most common. So vaginal bleeding is also occurs. Vaginal bleeding. Vaginal bleeding. Okay. Then vaginal bleeding during heavy vaginal bleeding during menstruation also, as well as during intercourse. After intercourse, the heavy vaginal bleeding is occurs. Okay. So painful sexual intercourse. Painful sexual intercourse. Okay. The female pursued that the very pain during the sexual intercourse or after sexual intercourse, the female feels that heavy pain. Okay, then that is called as dyspareunia. Okay, dyspareunia. Dyspareunia. Okay, that is called as dyspareunia. Painful sexual intercourse is called as dyspareunia. Okay, then if suppose rectocele and cystocele occurs, that is also causes the Okay, bowel and bladder problem. Bowel and bladder problem. Bowel and bladder problem is also common in uterine prolapse because rectocele or cystocele that may be a problem to the females. So bowel and bladder problem means, okay, urinary incontinency. Urinary incontinency. Urinary incontinency, most probably urinary incontinency होने का chances होते हैं. Urinary incontinency means urine is continuous, frequent urine passing, or sometimes the unsensationary means the urine is passed without consciousness during coughing, sneezing. During coughing, sneezing, okay, during coughing, sneezing, sometimes swallowing, okay, speaking with loud, okay. During this process, okay, during coughing or sneezing, the urine is leakage. So urine is leakage through the bladder because of the weakness of the bladder walls. Okay, weakness of the bladder walls. Why weakness of the bladder walls? Because of the herniation. So cystocele. Okay, in bowel, sometimes constipations, either diarrhea. So constipations or diarrhea happens, and these are the symptoms appear. Heavy bleeding. If the heavy bleeding occurs either in 4th degree uterine prolapse, the uterus is coming outside, that is also causes the infection. Okay, so infection होने के chances भी है. Infection and irritation. Okay, irritation to the female. Infection, irritation, sometimes fever. Okay, irritability. The females feel like irritable. Okay, mood, stress or irritability. Okay, irritability symptoms भी होने का chances है. Okay, these are the symptoms are seen in the uterine prolapse. Okay, so uterine prolapse symptoms, the females feels something is coming outside, heavier, and she is sitting on the ball. She feels like sitting on the ball in 1st degree uterine prolapse. Symptoms are depends upon the degree of uterine prolapse. In 1st degree, something is coming outside through the vagina and she is feeling, okay, she is sitting on the ball. In 2nd degree uterine prolapse, females feels that she is sitting on the ball. Okay, because the cervix or the uterine part is in the introits, vaginal opening. In 3rd degree, 4th degree, she is seeing that masses are palpable of the masses, and vaginal bleeding during intercourse, after intercourse. Okay, during intercourse, after intercourse, she feels very severe pain. Okay, dyspareunia. So as well as if the bowel and bladder, rectocele or cystocele occurs, okay, she is having the complaints of bowel problem and bladder problems. Okay, urinary incontinency means, so urine is frequently passed or urine is unconsciously passed during speaking and coughing, swallowing. Okay, that is called as stress incontinence. Okay, the urine is frequently passed during coughing and sneezing. That is called as stress incontinence. Stress incontinence. Stress incontinence means, what is stress incontinence? The urine is passed unconsciously during sneezing, coughing. Okay, during sneezing and coughing because of the weakness of the bladder wall. Okay, because of the weakness of the bladder wall, that is a stress incontinence occurs. Okay, stress incontinence means unconsciously or passing of the urine through the bladder during sneezing and coughing. Okay, so next part of the uterine prolapse is diagnostic evaluation of the uterine prolapse. Diagnostic evaluation, diagnosis. Okay. So what are the diagnostic evaluations are conducted in uterine prolapse? In uterine prolapse, the most common diagnostic evaluations are in routine investigation, history collection, okay, physical examination, routine blood investigation. Okay, history, physical examination, routine blood investigation. Okay, then standing position and lying down position examination with cuffing. Okay, explain the procedure that means tell. Okay, we should observe the patient abdominal mass during standing position and lying down position. Okay, tell the patient to cough. Okay, during standing position, when the females cough, the something abdominal masses are appear. Okay, as well as in lying down position is also observation of the abdominal masses are very essential through the cupping process. Okay, so that is also, it is very important during uterine prolapse. Okay, standing and standing and lying down examination of patient with cuffing okay, that feels the what masses in abdomen, masses, or feels the any organ displaced from the original place. Okay, so along with this intravenous pyelography for ureteral okay, intravenous pyelography for ureteral obstruction. Suppose ureter is obstructed due to the cystocele, intravenous pyelography is also conducted, okay, because of the bladder visualization. So the best perfect diagnostic evaluation is ultrasonography. Okay, in ultrasonography the uterus or uterine part is displaced from its original place. Okay, ultrasonography and pelvic examination. Pelvic examination is a very important here. Pelvic examination. Okay. These are the diagnostic evaluations are conducted in the uterine prolapse. Okay, in uterine prolapse, ultrasonography, pelvic examination, and a wand is in pelvic examination. A wand means one type of material that is passed over the abdomen or inserted into the vagina to create, okay, image with the sound waves. Okay, a wand. Okay, this is one of the instrument which is inserted into the vagina. So after insertion into the vagina, so that creates the sound waves. Okay, that import or that detect the sound waves inside the vagina. The whatever the organs are displaced in the vagina, so that sound waves helps to detect the surgeons for diagnosis of the uterine prolapse. Okay, then in pelvic examination a wand is inserted into the vagina, okay, to create the sound waves, to create these images with the sound waves. Okay, images से sound waves create करने के लिए ये wand करके एक इंस्ट्रूमेंट आता है, ये वेजाइना में इंसर्ट करके इसके थ्रू भी यूट्राइन प्रोलैप्स डायग्नोस कर सकते हैं. ओके, हिस्ट्री, फिजिकल एग्जामिनेशन, रूटीन ब्लड इन्वेस्टिगेशन, इंट्रावेनस पाइलोग्राफी, okay, ultrasonography, pelvic examination and a wand examination. These are the diagnostic evaluation of the uterine prolapse. Okay, so then management of uterine prolapse. Management is very simple. Management is very important. Management of uterine prolapse. So management is the most important management. It is the uterine prolapse is the most commonly occurred in pregnancy as well as childbirth. So that's why during pregnancy or to the females we should explain to the Kegel exercise. Okay? Kegel exercise. Okay. Kegel exercise is a type of exercise. In image, here are the image shown there, the Kegel exercise process. Okay. Kegel exercise is a type of exercise that helps to strengthen the pelvic floor. Okay. pelvic floor muscles strength होने के लिए exercise आता है. हमने जैसे सूर्य नमस्कार exercise करते हैं, okay, इस तरह से Kegel exercise means this is the one type of exercise. This is performed in the female during pregnancy. Okay. So this is most probably a important exercise explained by the surgeon during pregnancy. That is a pelvic floor, strengthening of the pelvic floor muscles. Okay, Kegel exercise. Next, the main management is surgery, Kegel exercise, and pessaries. Okay, pessaries means these are the articles, or these are the instruments which are introduced into the vagina certain periods to hold the structure or to maintain the structure of the internal organs. Okay, internal organs maintain करने के लिए कोई materials आता है, वो materials से इंसर्ट करना है. Okay, so main surgery करता है. Okay, Kegel exercise करने के लिए pessaries use करना है. Okay, so the main in management, the first of all we should advise the female during pregnancy to practice the Kegel exercise that helps to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. Okay, next is very important, estrogen cream. Okay, estrogen cream. Estrogen is very essential in our body to strengthen the muscles. Okay, and the estrogen is shed of the endometrium, so then that gives the strengthening of the endometrial cells, then it is also helps in calcium absorption in the body, cholesterol maintenance of the body. Estrogen's functions are very helpful. Okay, estrogen helps to prevent the gallbladder stones. So estrogen creams are used to strengthen the muscles. Okay, muscles को strength करने के लिए estrogen cream और estrogen patches आता है. Estrogen patches are applied on the abdominal muscles and the pelvic muscles, that helps to improve the muscle strength. Okay, then if Kegel exercise, then important is estrogen cream or estrogen patches to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. Okay, next is if pain and bleeding occurs, the uterus may be, if the pain and bleeding occurs, the uterus may be, okay, the uterus may be manually repositioned. Okay, if pain and bleeding, uterus is manually repositioned. Uterus is manually repositioned. Manually repositioned. If possible, if the severity is very less, if the female feels of pain and bleeding, then the uterus is manually repositioned with the insertion of the pessaries. With insertion of pessaries. Okay, these are called as pessaries. This is a very important word. Okay, uterus is manually repositioned. Manually reposition of the uterus. Okay, with the aseptic techniques. Okay, aseptic techniques, using the gloves, the uterus is pulled back its original position. After pull back up to original position, the devices are used to maintain the alignment of the structure. Okay, these are called as pessaries. Pessaries are the devices which is helps to hold the uterus in its original position. Okay, this is the uterus. Okay, these are the ligaments, muscles. Okay, if these muscles are weakened, then these pessaries are put here. Okay, these pessaries are put here, which helps to hold the uterus in alignment. Okay, in normal structure. These are called as pessaries, vaginal pessaries. Vaginal pessaries are available in the various structures like rings like pessaries, balls like pessaries, ring like pessaries, balls like pessaries. Okay, square like pessaries, and long pessaries and longitudinal pessaries. The various types of pessaries are available. Okay, depending upon the convenient, so pessaries are used. The uterus is manually replacement. Okay, so this is the management of uterine prolapse. Kegel exercise, estrogen cream, and manually reposition with the pessaries. Next, if the very severe uterine prolapse occurs, if it is dangerous to reposition of the uterus with the manually, so then the surgeon will plan for hysterectomy. Okay, so this is a convenient surgical procedure. Hysterectomy is a convenient surgical procedure. If the manual repositioning of the uterus is unable to prognosis the patient by the application of the pessaries, then go for the surgical procedure, that is a surgical removal of the uterus. Okay, if the cystocele is present, okay, cystocele, if the cystocele is present, cystocele means, okay, cystocele means it is a herniation of the bladder walls, where the bladder walls are bulged with the vaginal wall. So in cystocele occurs, then to strengthening the bladder wall muscles. Okay, to strengthening the bladder wall muscles. What happens in weakness of the bladder wall? That causes the stress incontinence. Stress incontinence means leakage of the urine during sneezing and coughing. During sneezing and coughing, the urine is leaked from the bladder because of the weakness of the bladder wall. Okay, there is a surgical procedure is conducted for to strengthen the muscles of the bladder. That surgical procedure is called as, okay, Marshall-Marchetti Crank procedure. Marshall-Marchetti Crank procedure. Marshall, this is a very important procedure. Marshall-Marchetti. Okay, so remember this Marshall-Marchetti Crank procedure. Crank procedure. Okay. Why this procedure is conducted? What is the? This is the name of the surgery, Marshall-Marchetti Crank procedure. This is a type of surgical procedure in which which helps to strengthening the wall of the bladder muscles. Okay, that helps to prevent the stress incontinence, mean leakage of urine. Okay, so that is the that surgical process is called as Marshall-Mersanti Grant procedure. Okay, next uterovesical suspensions. Okay, next procedure is uterovesical suspensions. Uterovesical suspensions. What is uterovesical suspensions? Uterovesical suspension means a surgeon places the uterus back into its original position by reattaching the pelvic ligaments or surgical material. Okay, uterovesical suspension means the surgeon is replace or repositioning of the uterus in its original position by applying the prosthetic ligaments. Okay, these are the pessaries are the devices which are removed after certain days, but in uterovesical suspensions the surgical materials are available. Okay, these are the prosthesis of the ligaments. These artificial ligaments are put inside the vagina to hold the uterus in alignment. Okay, this is called as uterovesical suspensions. Okay, uterovesical suspensions, these are the surgical procedure are conducted. Surgical procedures are cystoscopy, Marshall-Mersanti Grant procedure, then uterovesical suspension, hysterectomy. Okay, next medical management, Kegel exercise, estrogen. Okay, estrogen patches or estrogen cream and using the pessaries. This is the main management of the uterine prolapse. Okay, so this completes the uterine prolapse. In next class we will discuss regarding the family planning, either whatever the class. Thank you.